Having removed the dmc150 spectral radiometer from the EnviroBox, one can sight it on a table alongside the 605 constant current power supply for the evaluation of the response of radiometers. We will proceed to fit the IL7 light source to the entrance slit and the RSR unit to the exit slit. Firstly, we must remove the fibre adapter from the entrance slit of the monochromator and equally remove a covering plate from the exit slit of the monochromator. The IL7 light source has weight-bearing feet. We should loosen slightly the 3 screws on either side to ensure that we can adjust the height of the light source to fit the entrance slit of the monochromator. And we attach it to the entrance slit using 4 M3 screws in the 4 lower screw holes and attach that securely. Having done so, we should tighten the 3 screws on either side of the weight-bearing feet to ensure the load of the unit is not suspended on the entrance slit. The RSR unit, we should loosen slightly the foot of the RSR unit to ensure we adjust the height to the double monochromator entrance exit slit, and we can attach with M3 screws again to the exit slit. There are 4 hole locations, but the bottom 2 are difficult to access, so I would suggest only to use the top 2 positions. And we should fix this securely in place. Having done so, we can then attach the lid of the RSR unit. One should verify that the slits used are appropriate for the bandwidth of measurements one wishes to achieve. In the exit slit, we have the 1.5 by 5 mm aperture for measurement of the radiometers under test. One should consider the entrance slit and changing it if necessary. The IL7 is connected to the 605 constant current supply using red and black cables. From the 605 to the underside of the IL7. And equally, the fan output of the 605 is connected by 3-pin connector to the fan of the IL7. The reference and monitor diodes of the RSR unit should be connected to the amplifiers in the dmc150 MDE using BNC to SMA connectorized cables. Firstly, we remove the existing photomultiplier signal cable, simply unscrewing and pulling away. The reference diode is connected one side on BNC and on the other side to input 1, pushing the cable in and simply rotating the collar to ensure it is firmly attached. And the monitor diode from the underside connects to input 2, which is located underneath the RSR unit. And again, one pushes in and rotates the collar to ensure attachment. These are relatively difficult to attach. One can then connect the mains of the 605 constant current power supply and the monochromator, and one can also connect the USB output, the monochromator to the controlling computer. we always recommend that the xenon lamp is powered on first. So we set the current to 8.5 amps, indicated by the etched arrow on the 605 key selector switch, and I recommend slightly withdrawing the key to ensure that we do not change inadvertently the current. And one can simply power on the light source. Initially, the lamp filled light will illuminate during the time that the starting circuit charges. When the arc has been established, this light will extinguish and the LCD voltage will show something around minus 14 volts, the voltage across the lamp. And this voltage will change slightly in use of the lamp. In use, we will calibrate the system with the reference diode in place. And in order to use the system, we will typically remove the 4 corner screws and use one of the 2 Kippenzonen or Epley adapters provided to attach radiometers under test. Of course, the radiometers under test will generate a voltage as opposed to a current, in which case we should use the 472 unit. The 472 unit requires a power supply, which connects to the power input. The signal from the radiometer under test should be coupled to the 472 via BNC to BNC cables to the input of the 472, and the output of the 472 should connect to input 1, and one should select a output appropriate for the output of the device under test. We have 1 volt per 100 microamps, 1 volt per 10 microamps, or 1 volt per microamp. And then we can proceed with characterization of radiometers.